Mm. Hello, hello. Hmm. Damn.
Woohoo! He's recording.
Yo, yo,
How's it going?
going well. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I took a lot longer to set up, basically to start setting up, but voila.
True.
Mr. Cyborg, Mr.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Cyborg
sir.
AI.
I actually got about. I was about to go get me a snack. Well, you're gonna come with me, but
I'm
sticking
not,
with me.
because
Yeah,
I
you are.
can't see you.
Well, you can still hear me though.
Oh, true. That I can. Let's see
Oh
if I
man,
can find
I can still you.
the stuff I want to share.
Hmm.
Oh, it's playing here.
I don't know what I want to snack on.
Yo.
Yo.
I wonder how do we send the on point link? Group info.
Which link you talking about?
Oh my gosh, that's loud.
Which group you talking about?
The Telegram to the sister there.
Oh, you can. Yes, you can share a link with her.
Add members. Invite link. Copy link.
Yeah, I'm making a bunch of noise, ain't I?
Hmm?
I said I'm making a bunch of noise, ain't I?
No, it's only your voice that's loud. I don't know if it's because I switched over to my bigger speakers or what,
True.
but it
What you been
sounds
in?
better. Oh, you should see this spatial snapshots I'm working on.
Spatial.
Yup.
Your phone shoot spatial photos?
It's a good question. Um, by that, what do you mean?
It's got multiple cameras, don't it?
You tell me.
Yeah, there's two.
Yep, there's two.
You might be able to shoot spatial photos with that.
I like spatial snapshots better.
What's a spatial snapshot?
It's something I made up. It's basically using, wait a second, what's happening? It's using 360 uh video, photos, and framed as well as audio to tell a little story about events and so forth.
True.
I made it up and it's dope. Scan code. I reboot and I have to scan to get on WhatsApp again. Ridiculous. So I wanted to check out a little more of that guy. Oh my gosh. That thing that's on the Telegram, the AI Lee Scratch Perry guy,
True.
because I wanted to see a little. Found a video he talked about. Oh, I should send her the Telegram. Where is it?
Zoom's noise canceling is amazing.
The what?
Noise canceling?
On Zoom?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I
You can hear
think
me
I
chewing these
actually
chips?
eat louder.
True.
Yeah, it's pretty okay. You should open your mouth and chew. I hear nothing.
No, it's crazy. I'm smacking like shit. I
And how do they like know that you don't want that?
don't
Yeah.
know. But like, I guess I'm looking at OBS and my little meter is going off the charts. Maybe it's AI. I don't know.
Probably. Invite some people. I wonder how come it doesn't show the logo or anything on the Twitch link.
It should take you right to our page.
It does, but it says Twitch. It doesn't say on point anywhere. Leading platform for gamers.
Or you mean like the
The
when you share
link.
the link, it shows the Twitch logo?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I might be able to change that.
Mm. Okay, so discussion topics. There's what's the one that you said doesn't age well?
Huh? Oh, what I said about the bot in the Telegram.
Oh, let's play one of Rich Hannis's songs from our YouTube.
All right.
It's the bottom link is Rich Hannis. I shared it earlier. I don't know which one to pick. She's a funky producer with her head on straight. I met her through, let's see what Timeless is. I met her through the BSAM, which is that professor that jumped on, if you remember.
My
Countdown
bad. My
ends. 3:60
my
a.m.
headset just disconnected from the computer.
My God, this is loud. Huh?
My headset disconnected from the computer.
Right now?
Yeah, just a second ago.
Oh, so you couldn't hear me?
No, I couldn't.
R r well, we'll see how to say her name right again momentarily, but Rashanis, I think. I connected through BSAM, Speculative Arts Movement.
True. Where's the link at to the video? Where the
Um, this one's good. Here we go. Where do you want me to share it?
Telegram
Where?
music?
Music? Okay. So the most recent one can run that. Back to discussions. I want to find the AI guy and his talking. I want to play. Let's see. Oh, wow. That's pretty fucking cool. So this guy, I want to see where he's talking though, because there's one where maybe it's this one.
Hey, whatever. You know. So I wanted to be consistent and continue to tap in with y'all for these Transparent Tuesdays because
Okay, so he calls this one Transparent Tuesday. He talks about the love and hate a little bit. So I think we should check that out.
All right.
Um, because he talks about the love and hate, and I think maybe, it'll spark a little bit of the conversation. So AI love and hate, but I didn't listen to the whole thing yet, so I don't really know for sure where he goes with it. I'll say love and hate AI, like, because he takes that. So that love and hate AI, we want to play that. And that's Volt. Oh, let me write this. This guy's got thousands of followers, tens of thousands, I think 70,000. Anyways, yeah, 75,000 followers. But the other one, let me see. Ancestral AI, that's the one we should play. So maybe we'll play this here, because it's fucking dope. But then, like, the conversation about AI pertaining to, let me just double check because I'm sure he's dead. Lee Scratch Perry, um, alive? I don't think so. Oh, oh, wow. Okay. No, he died in 2021. Okay, so he's not alive. The question, let's just, we don't know for sure, but whether this guy actually has official links to him, what are the ethics around it? Does that sound good?
I caught like parts of what you were saying.
My God, I'm talking to myself.
You definitely kind of lost me a little bit there.
Okay, so this guy who I'm gonna play, who is getting some love and some hate with 75,000 followers on IG, I think what he's talking about is his mixing of Lee Scott Perry's style with AI.
Okay.
The question of ethics around it, around that, whether he knows them, we don't know, but we'll just talk about what our sentiments are. Is there like is there an ethical way? Is it right? Is it wrong? Doesn't it matter? Someone resurrects. an artist through AI.
Yeah, okay.
Does
That's
that sound?
yeah. That definitely sounds like a potentially controversial topic.
And then we have the what's it called with that the sisters more. So between those two topics, what was the other one we said? I thought I wrote it in here. Um, culturally critically thinking, AI culture and ethics. So it
Yeah.
ties in. Cool.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay.
So wait. So we were talking about the art, the the resurrecting prior artists through AI, and then what was the other one?
The other one was as it's in on August 5th, written in the thing, culturally critically thinking, AI, culture, and ethics. So it's connected.
Yeah. Love. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that was the music, and then after bot fell short in recognizing signs of delusion. The fuck? Is
What
she?
are you reading?
Did you invite her? Did you invite her to the chat already? Oh yeah, she joined. Tiffany R. Jones.
Okay.
Tiffany R. joined. Yeah. Uh, just checking all these messages. Oh, okay, I see. Ancestral intelligence blends AI creativity into diversity, art, emotional music. What's this about?
So we'll
Oh, this is the
play.
same one.
Yeah. So we'll play that one, the first one, and then we'll play the second one as we talk about it,
What the
and
fuck?
we'll weave it all into a culturally critically thinking. Cool.
Yeah. Let me see so you can see what I see. That's the one you're talking about, right? Play something else. Can you hear?
Is that it?
I think so. That was one of them.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's it.
What's this?
Oh, play the other one. What he says. Oh, that one. That's a dope one. Did you hear? Did you see that already?
No.
I came with the energy, your shaka. You go things to your crave.
Let's start the
I
show
came
with
from
that
the
one.
ground of my father. I give thanks and praise. And I came with a spiritual armor. Make the anointing spray. First of all, make a pour before man proceed. There's a silent war up in DRC. If your poverty porn and the through to seek, the new Africa was born to fulfill the
Start with
dream.
that one.
Can't forget the
Yep.
powers that's instilled in me. I know, say there's powers that
You
be
want to start the show with
shielding
it?
me. I told
Yup.
them bad A to BBC that we the Africans who know what the children need. So fall back, we can kick it on our road. Black man stand up, we're sitting on the throne.
Oh, damn. That was cool.
Yeah, so simple.
Nah, I made a thing and
Ruling everywhere, yeah, we're killing.
I don't like that I stopped. But I made a thing in ChatGPT. She it's a starting soon graphic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you can put that up?
Yeah. I put that up I'll put that up with the music and then we'll switch to so I can actually put it up on my screen.
But play that video. We should play it like with the visual.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
So I was talking about. I just gotta get the image. Oh dang, it's backwards. Wait, so you see my screen in reverse?
Reverse? Not that I noticed. Starting soon, I see it correctly.
It's not reversed?
Nope.
Oh, that's weird. Whatever.
I'll drop the links in
the globe and we build it back at home in a different kind of zone. I came with the spirit of on the yaga. I can never be afraid. I came with the energy of Shaka. You got things to your crave. I came as the child of my father. I give thanks and praise. And I came with the spiritual armor. Make the anointing spray.
Make an anointing spray.
It's a good one.
Okay, love, hate, AI.
Africa gonna be sleeping.
Hey, what up, y'all? So I wanted to be consistent and continue to tap in with y'all for these Transparent Tuesdays, because you know me, I reserve the right to ninja. I'll be in the shadows quite comfortably. And but yeah, I've been called to speak more. So yeah, I wanted to use this Lee Scratch Perry video as a catalyst for this conversation, because you know, the comments have been pretty interesting with the love and the hate in balance, and as it should be, because you know, we got to remember with Scratch, you know, what did he call himself? He called himself the upsetter. So if I'm carrying that torch and I'm celebrating him, you know, I'm going to get mixed reviews, you know, and I'm gonna upset a few people. You know, I might rub you the wrong way, but you know, just be happy that you're getting rubbed, whether you rub the wrong way or the right way. You know, we should all be happy that we're getting rubbed at the end of the day. But yeah, Scratch, the upsetter, you know, the one that brought technology to roots music and to music as we know it, and you know, the godfather of using the studio as an instrument, you know, and using effects, you know, as a way to color sound and to express, you know, that upset a lot of people, you know. So we have to remember at that time, that was the technology, you know, of that day and age, and he used it in a way that it wasn't intended or designed to be used, you know. So in a similar vein, that's what I'm doing with the technology. You know, be it a modular synth, I don't use those the way they're intended to be used. I don't use the sampler, you know, the way that it was intended to be used. You know, and the same for AI. You know, these are all just tools in the toolbox, and I'll use them to inspire and to upset. You know, I have no problem with both. I'm here to master the art of balance, so you know, it's all good. Thank you for assisting me in being a better me. You know, so yeah, just, you know, back to technology and the tools in our toolbox. You'll never hear, you know, someone that builds a house say, you know, look at the house that my toolbox built. You know, it's about the architect, it's about the planning, it's about the blueprint, it's about the intention behind what you do, you know, and that's what you put into the tool. So those that have, you know, a negative view or opinion on using technology in the arts, it's just a primitive way of thinking. You know, we had people that thought the same way with the camera. You know, it's going to steal your soul on the spiritual side. And then on the artistic side, it's like, it's going to put painters out of business. It didn't do that. You know, the same way people were saying that email was going to put the post office out of business. It didn't do that either. You know, the .com era didn't kill the retail business. And same vein, CGI didn't kill traditional animation, and AI is not going to kill CGI, traditional animation, or film. It's just going to be another medium. It's the medium of now, so we're using that medium of right now in this present time, so the same way our culture turned the turntable into an instrument, turned the sampler, that was a drum machine, that was supposed to replace a drummer. We turned that into a production center. There's some of us that are using AI in the same way, so just give it a little time and you'll see the ones that use the tools to innovate. You'll see the ones that use the tools the way they're intended to be used. I tend to be the one that likes to be on the side of innovation. You can check my receipts. Peace.
All right, well, let's check his receipts.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah. Damn, I don't want to log in though.
I just sent a bunch of people the link, both the links, so we'll see if anyone jumps on.
Oh, you sent them what link?
Both of them. They can come behind or they can come to chat if they want. People I know.
Oh,
But
we
but
need
they
them in the front. Oh, we need them on the Twitch side.
we need them on the Twitch side?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Well, I mean, you know.
Damn, I can't.
Remember Clubhouse?
Yeah,
Life was easy.
indeed it was. Indeed it was. Wait, was that on? Yeah, that was IG. Okay.
Is it to impress, or is it to
Checking some different ones?
The bridge is over. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. Hey, hey, hey. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. The bridge is over.
That's pretty wicked though.
Yeah, that was tough. So what is he getting hate for? I don't understand.
We
Ancestral
almost
intelligence.
Welcome to Blackboard Jungle, Part 2.
He's got overwhelmingly positive reviews or comments.
Hey, yeah. I didn't see
Love
it
the
yet.
music, lose the AI.
Oh,
AI? Now roots.
man.
Oh
What do you
man.
think?
Oh, what's Oh,
Welcome,
2 minutes.
Blackboard Jungle, Part
we have a guest.
We have a guest.
Hello.
Hello.
So we've been communicating for a while, but we spoke with voices for the first time, what, yesterday?
That was yesterday.
So I know how to say Tiffany, but I don't know how to say, is it Rashan? Rashanis?
So it's Tiffany Rashawn, and then the stage name is Rashanis.
Rashanis. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Before we get started, and are the names that you guys have on your things here? Is that what you want to be shown?
Oh,
'Cause
thank you.
I gotta change mine.
How do we do that?
I can change them for you. She looks like she's already ahead of the game. Rashanis. Kwame, I got
Yeah.
you, brother. Don't even worry about it, big dog. I got
Thank you.
you.
So you're just gonna change it to symbolic?
Yes, sir. It's
Oh, you
been done.
did it.
I did it. Yes, sir. Nice to meet you. Should I call you? I'll call you Rashanis because if I don't, I'm gonna call you Tiffany on live, and then I'm gonna feel like a dummy. So,
No, you good. You so good.
Rashanis, nice to meet you.
Rashanis. Likewise, likewise.
I'm
Okay, so
Ivy
tell me,
produced.
I was about to say IV produced.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ivy produced. AKA my name is also Tevin. If you can't tell, I'm the guy that talks about the tech all the time. With glasses behind a big screen strapped to my face. Um, but yeah.
I
Oh,
love it. That's what's
Doc
up. Let's
Bastard and
do
the
it.
Crime Masters.
How come I can't see y'all? There we go.
You can't? Oh, okay.
No, it was just my setting. Hit the wrong button. Ivy Produce insists on being in like other world with a computer strapped to his face as well as in front of his. And when we get in it on AI and stuff, sorry, I left my proper glasses, so I'm wearing these reading glasses that I have to like lean in. It's ridiculous. But
Lean in.
I
Lean in.
cannot see until I'm like this close. So I'm like, and then I can't see my other screen that's that far away. It's a mess. Um, but yeah, Ivy Produced is completely cool with AI taking all the jobs. Just he gave you his introduction. Now I'm going to give you his introduction.
Oh
Okay.
man.
I love it. We keeping it real, real.
Nah. AI is like, well, okay, listen, right? And we can talk about this a little bit later as well. AI is going to change the way things happen, right? Like the same way the guy you were just listening to about like he talks about it as well. It's gonna
We're
change
gonna
the
get
way we
in
do
it.
things.
Yo,
You know what I'm
roll,
saying?
roll.
It's not gonna completely replace everybody. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and
Defend your position on air.
yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. So we're going to uh s- go live, I guess. Yeah.
Let's go live.
Let's go live. Hopefully it opens up the right Twitch account. It did not.
Nice. So generally, we'll be looking at the stuff we posted over the course of the week, in the Telegram and pick some stuff. So we got a track from you. We got a track from what's the brother's name there? Let me see. Is it in music or did I must have put it in music.
Yeah, it
Oh
was in
yeah,
music.
Fuse ODG, which is a dope one that's on IG that we just want to run that. We have a brother that let me see, I got it under discussions. Lee Scratch Perry X and a bunch of other stuff I can't read right now, but it's basically AI
Oh man.
using Lee Scratch Perry and all kinds of other kind of sampling and just the question of the of ethics around that tied
Mm.
in with our culturally critically thinking AI culture and ethics. Like, and I feel that ties into what we were talking about as well. Does that make sense, Rashanis?
Yeah, yeah. Let's go. Let's roll with it. Sound like we're
Uh
about to have a good time. Uh-oh. Might be having a little login difficulty.
uh
I always say this when I'm performing, like it's not real if something just is like you don't have a hiccup. Like
For real.
uh
If this was a
are
hip hop
just
show, we'd be freestyling. We'd be like, all right,
uh,
don't worry about it.
uh leave me alone.
this what we doing tonight. This what we doing tonight. Mm.
Uh
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
need
I'm excited to be here. Take your time, IB. Take your time.
give me some
Yeah,
grace.
man. Don't
Yeah,
sweat
for
it.
sure. Yeah, it really is part of it.
Yup.
Yeah. So I'm excited to be here. When I saw the group, some of the themes in the group, I was like, oh, this is that space. Not that I didn't have that. I didn't have that idea from our conversation, but yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Let's talk about some music. Let's talk about some culture. Let's talk about some robot takeover. Yeah.
Yes, Ivy produced Friends taking over.
Yeah, for sure. I
Hey
ain't,
man,
I'm not even mad at him. Once he can jump in, once we figure out the login, I'm really excited to hear the conversation because it's all speculative, right?
absolutely
Until it's not, right?
right. Facts.
So we do all need to have every single voice represented, and that's going to be the novice, that's going to be the intermediate user, that's going to be those who are just deathly afraid of it, right? Like we need to hear from everybody. Um,
True.
All right, all right, all right, all right,
we
all
in,
right.
we in,
We
we in.
almost there. So talk show on point. Culturally, culturally. Oh damn, I spelled it wrong. Culturally, I still spelled it
Oh,
wrong.
yeah, you
Oh, y'all can
R
see this.
A.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Wait, R A. Wait,
There
yeah,
we go.
there
There
we
it is.
go.
There it is. There it is.
There we
Culturally,
go.
critically thinking.
He gonna say it's embarrassing. This what the robots do to us. We'd be like, wait, that's a E, it's a U, it's a A,
Oh my
I,
goodness.
O, sometimes Y. What is we doing? I get it.
All right. Culturally, critically thinking. We are live.
Yeah.
Oh, not yet. We're almost live. Now we live. All right. And now we're gonna have a little inception going on. So we're gonna actually, I'm cool with that. Um so yeah, this is On Point Talk Show. We have a special guest that may be a recurring guest, maybe not a guest, maybe an additional host,
Crew
Oh,
member. Our
yeah.
a
people.
member of the crew. We have my
Rashanis.
Rashanis. Yes. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you
Hello.
for
Thank you.
being a part of our show.
Oh, for sure. This
She
is
said
this is the place to be.
she said she's excited to have the conversation, and we are excited to have you here.
Yeah,
Uh, but yes, this
Indeed.
is the On
Let
Point
them
Talk
know it's
Show.
On Point Talk Show. Yeah.
it
I
is.
am a host, Ivy produced. Um, Usually the one talking about the AI up and comings and happenings and trying to persuade everybody to join the AI movement and to threaten them by saying that AI is going to take their jobs if they don't adapt to the times. You know what I'm saying? Um, but Mr. Symbolic is
Symbolic.
another host, and he will tell you about himself.
I am tech and culture are people coming together, building it, moving moving accordingly better into the future, a little bit more skeptical that these corporations are going to build something that is going to sustain us or that the technologies are the answer. I think that culture is the answer. So you hear me talking about the culture. You know what I would like to do? I would like to play that one tune. Maybe we can run that Rashanis tune and then come back and do a proper introduction. If you could tell us about what you've been up to, and we have a little bit of conversation before we get in it. Does that sound good?
That's what's up, for sure. Let's do it.
All
All
right.
right.
IV produced with
So,
the tech in front of your face. Can you make it happen?
yes, I believe I can. Let me just not make sure that I don't do anything silly. And there we go.
Okay, just so you know, we don't see anything happening there. I don't think.
Oh, you don't. That's right. You probably don't hear nothing either, huh?
Hear nothing.
I do.
Okay.
I can.
What?
What? Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, I am sharing. I
All
think.
right, why don't I see anything? It's supposed to just pop up in this middle screen, is it not?
I don't know. Wait. I don't know, man. I'm sharing.
Beautiful, beautiful. And
It's
that
it's
was
it's, it's something
Limitless.
about limitless. Something about listening to my music when I'm in space with other artists that I'm still shocked, like, oh, that's my music. I mean, thank
It's
y'all for playing it.
beautiful. It
That's what's up.
really has a flow, like it flows and it goes in so many others. One point that I was like, this is like had a vibe that made me think of Jazzmatazz, which I love. And then it
Oh,
didn't
you and me both.
just, right? It didn't just stay there
Yeah.
either. So it was really like had like a flowing from beginning to end, but then flowing within each moment, like the ocean. Beautiful work, and thank you, Rashanis. If you would do us a favor and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you've been up to.
So again, thank you for inviting me. I'm like super excited to like really, really kick it with y'all about all things culture, music, art, tech, just on point. Um, my name is Rashanis. I am Motown made. For those of you who are not familiar, I was born and raised in Detroit. Jay
Detroit.
Dilla changed my life.
Hey,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Dilla changed my life. And I've loved music as long as I can remember, to be honest. Um, I have that similar story as most artists do. Was raised singing in the church. And from there, just found a way, even if it took me decades, to start taking my music seriously. I was just telling Symbolic this the other day, like, because I'm a vocalist, for years, I was looking for the perfect producer. Like I was looking for a producer that would like get my vibe, get my whole MO. And I had no idea I was actually looking for me. So when I produced and that was it, I was like, yeah, game over. Like game over. So I love music. It's my sanctuary. I just got back from Colombia. I had the opportunity to perform over there with an incredible band at the only jazz club dedicated in Colombia. It was wonderful times. Was living over there for 10 months. Just got back to America, having a hard time being back, but thank God for music. And outside of that, I am an educator and a systems developer.
hey.
I developed a system to teach children how to read, and I am currently moving from alpha to beta and gamifying it. We
Mm,
have to prepare our children for the future of education and the future of work. And they have to be literate enough to withstand all that we're going to talk about today,
absolutely.
the pre-agenic era, post-agenic era. They have to be able to navigate. So we need to level the literacy game all the way up. And I do that, when I'm not making music, which is 10 hours of the day. Outside of that, I'm a mom. I'm a friend. And I'm an Afrofuturist.
Hey,
That's how I know symbolic. Yeah. So I'm just here to like kick it with y'all. What we doing?
what's
What
up?
we
That's what's up.
doing?
That's what's up. So we are talking about culture, art, tech, community, all of those things. So I think we're gonna have a really good time.
For
Um,
sure.
Irene has joined the Zoom. So hello, and welcome, Irene. Um, so there was a symbolic. I believe we had a tune that we wanted to run right at this, right? And then we're gonna get into the shenanigans. Yes.
I think we can wait a little bit. We can
Wait a little
talk a
bit.
little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah. All right. So did you we were gonna play the one about the Volt Center?
Oh,
Was that the one you wanted to play first?
are you talking about running that hold on, let me go to the Telegram and take a peek at what we're talking about here. This Lee Scratch Perry?
Yes, that
I
one.
think
Because that was
that
that was AI video.
does lend well, as well as his comment. This artist has a Tuesday kind of talk.
Transparency
There
Tuesday.
you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Transparent Tuesday. And I think that that does launch a bit of the conversation. Like it speaks to some of the hesitancy and fear that exists around AI now, but how often with many of the different formats there has been fear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this particular artist goes in a direction that I think is pretty provocative in that this is a person who's deceased, at least Scratch Perry, sorry, um, and and creating really dope stuff. So it makes it a little, I think it'll be interesting. So if you'd like, we can go ahead and play that, and that can spark us off.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Um, so yeah, so we're gonna play the video first of the video of the type of videos that this guy makes, and then we're gonna play the he kind of did the Transparency Tuesday, and he's kind of discussing like what he's doing and how people talk to him, and then kind of like just giving his thoughts about the entire like
Uh,
direction of what
Before
he
we
uses
go,
things. Yeah.
just a one time out, I see Doc Bastard and Crime Master in the Zoom chat.
Yes,
Make
sir.
sure you're on the Telegram as well so that people can have the general conversation. But is AI just another money drain? We'll answer this after, but I just wanted to acknowledge the chat. As well, let's acknowledge the let's see if there's anything. We see if we got Fatal Monkey, but we'll get back to that. Is AI just another money drain? Always on the verge, but still burning cash like it's extinct. You responded to that in the chat. Is that correct?
Yeah, I actually misspoke actually. I said LOL, I would say that, but I meant to say I wouldn't say all that. Um,
Ah,
but then I
okay.
go on to say that like I guess we could probably start here, right? Because it's in the chat, right? We can start there. Um, so I wouldn't say all that, right? I wouldn't say, but then I was like, then I thought about it a little bit more. And I was like, well, maybe because like I remember yesterday actually, OpenAI came out with their version of open source AI models, right? So basically, what that means is that OpenAI released some models that people can download to their own computers and use offline instead of having to use their service or pay for their service, or send their prompts or information to their servers, right? So having local models allows you to not have to do anything on the cloud, or it can create devices or whatever you need to do with whatever you need to do with your model, whether it's privacy or whether you're trying to build something with those models and save money or create a product yourself, right? And so when they released it, I was kind of reading some of the tweets and the blog posts and things like that, and they said they spent billions of dollars developing these models. And so I was like, well, kind of, because like one, AI uses lots of power, which is lots of money. And then on top of that, they spent billions of dollars to build these open source models that they gave away for free, which is kind of crazy.
Hey, IV produce. You realize you started with I wouldn't say that, and you are ending
I
with
know.
would say
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I realized that. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily, it depends on what you mean by is it a money grab or a money burn. Um, because they do spend a lot of money on these things, obviously, but yeah.
I
True.
mean, so here's what he also said. He said email is a
Email is a
tech.
tech, AI is a
And
scam
then
at
he
worst.
said, right, that burns energy for quick cash. Here's the thing, and I say this all the time with in teaching and just us having this culturally critically thinking conversation. We know that at any given time it can be and or. So AI is a lot of that. It mirrors a scam that burns energy for quick cash for sure. We know
Hmm.
that. If you look at it that way and say, you know what, yeah, I can see straight through it. It's gonna we're sucking up water, we're burning, the grid, which we all know is gonna fail. But we can look at it and clearly say this is detrimental to our environment. On
Yeah.
that same side of the coin, can say that, yeah, it's just something else that sucks up resources. It's just a bunch of the good old boys playing who gets there first. It's the Odyssey, right? The ultimate Odyssey. It's always been man versus machine. It's always been, let's industrialize this. So this is no different. The challenge we have in looking at it this way, yeah, for sure. We race to our own extension. Yeah, for sure. But here's where I would like for us to also see this, because remember, it's and or. There's an opportunity for us to really, really invest ethically and get what we need out of it.
Yeah.
And ditch it. That's the race. If we've been behind, right? Because we didn't have the prowess to, for instance, organize, manage, do some of the things that we really, really need help doing. And I'm saying this as a business owner. This was a former me that was like, iRobot, I'm not fucking with it. I'm not doing none of that. I ain't doing none of that. Absolutely not. They're gonna kill us. And then I started looking at my position in the business world, like, wait a minute, I'm in education, which is the least paid profession. I have to reach millions of children in a short time span. Like, this is detrimental to their health and wellness. If you cannot read, it's game over, right? So I had to make a decision. And that decision was, I can keep going at this, chipping away, bootstrapping my company like I have been for 16 years, or I can play with this robot and build something that is going to assist in closing this gap. So I get it. I do, bruh. I mean, everything you're saying is spot on. This is what they do. This is the next carrot. But it's up to us to say, you know what? I'm about to blend this carrot. We about to puree these carrots, man. We about to eat these carrots and they're gonna be good because we understand what right. It really is. It's up to us to say no. And this is the ethics behind it. It's up to us to say no frivolous, meaningless reasons. Like, yeah, if we're just toying around and just having a good time with it and generating photos for no reason, I mean, you'd be surprised with those who are functionally illiterate, are prompting AI to do. Like, it's not meaningful at all. It's not valuable. So yeah, if we stop playing that game and say, no, we need catch up. So we actually need accounting help. We need management help. Even agriculture. Symbolic and I talk about this a little bit. Yeah. If you have a farm, you have 10 acres, because we all know that we're not going to be able to eat this food too much longer, right? You need a robot to help you manage that. So if we can start looking at this through an ethical lens, then we can level it a little bit, but still know, okay, we're playing to win here. And that means we have to have like super strong strategy. We're only doing it this much and we're only doing it this way because we are killing the environment. And we're going to leave our children to clean that up. And it's going to be devastating. It is.
The fact that the bringing up the environment is a huge one. And I think that's where, when it comes to culture, I'm going to just do a little bit of a jump to punctuate that as far as us, African descendants, Black people, for our creations to be considered urban, to be changed, like not by us, by industry, I think it's something to think about. So for us to be so detached, because really we that's another side of the culture where we need to go back to be having a relationship with the land, and
Absolutely.
putting on goggles Ivy produced won't be enough.
So, like, the way I look at it is kind of like technology is something that, yeah, it's harmful in some instances, but like I say this all the time. I think I may have said this to you, somebody, before. Um, Technology has equal capacity for good and and bad. So for as much like if technology can take a life, it can. Okay, that's not a good example. If some no, yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. But if technology can take a life, it can save a life. I was about
Absolutely.
to say create. I was about to say create a life, but yeah, that doesn't work. But if
Yeah,
if
I
it can
know,
take a
right?
life, it can save a life, right? Like you can use technology to help you to destroy, and you can use technology to help you either create or preserve, depending on the context, of course. To create or preserve, right? And so like then another thing is that like especially with AI, technology is a great equalizer. When technology is in the hands of all people
Absolutely.
or the most amount of people, then that gives all of those people an equal playing field to a certain extent, right? The people who know how to use it maybe better than another will maybe will be able to take it further, um, or maybe be able to develop something that is able to benefit them, in a better way. Like understanding how to use the technology because it's not going to go away. It's not going to stop, no matter how much we kick and pout and cry and say, "Oh, this is destroying our planet." Like, yeah, it is, but like we can use it to help offset those detrimental parts of it, right? So if they're using it, if they're saying, "Oh, we're gonna just open these power plants, and we're gonna, go and drill oil, and we're going to, go and get these fossil fuels and things like that," we can create ways to take that and reuse that, or to take the waste and try to undo some of the harms that are being created by that, right? Like the best thing that we can do is to utilize the technology that we have available to us to create the things that we want, right? Like,
Hey,
And need.
go ahead.
And
And
yeah.
need.
need, yeah. And
And
do
what?
the things that maybe we couldn't do. Like there are some things that like if you use AI can either help you do things that you couldn't do otherwise. It can increase the speed in which you can do the things that you already do, right? And probably a bunch of other stuff that I can't think of on the top of my head right now. But like those are two really incredible things. Like for me personally, right? I have a programming background, right? But I didn't really get to the point where I could actually like code an application, a full application, like on my own. Right. Today, I can use AI and I can create full applications
Yeah,
by
and remote.
myself,
Yeah. Hmm.
right? Like that's an opportunity I wouldn't have without that. I'd have to either hire somebody and spend my resources. I mean, spend my money, or but now I can spend my time, right? I'd rather spend my time doing it myself so I can understand it and learn throughout the process. I'm enriching myself through the process, but then, otherwise I'm enriching somebody else, right? That was a long kind of rant,
No, that
but
was great. That was great. I want to jump to the chats, which we have. I'm gonna get
plenty
someone
of,
with
yeah,
better eyes read the chat in the Zoom, but I want to read this one. One wise one says, sorry, one wise woman says, it can be a tool or a weapon. It depends on the motivation and the
absolutely,
morals of the
absolutely,
user. That sounds a lot like with what you were saying, but the only thing I think that we are there's a vulnerability, and that is with the platforms. I think you, for example, getting into coding, I think it's amazing. Myself, when I was doing media literacy with young boys in Toronto around 2000s, I would mention that I'd worked in video games, and having young black boys say, "I don't believe you," and
Yeah.
that is crazy. It was crazy to me, but I think we've come a
Right.
long way from that. I think that we know that we can create, and so that's great. But I also think that we're being uh we really need to be aware of the platform. I think that that's what Zuckerberg really wanted with Meta paying, what was it, a billion or so back then, for and the metaverse, that whole idea. And I think that it's similar. Thing is similar, which is social media or AR. The platforms are sneaky because they're the same corporate entity. So as much as we have good intentions in one way, we have to be aware that they're, you walk outside, you deal with people, you have things that happen based on the laws of our world. Well, they're able to redefine many things that, as we perceive it, and I think that's an important thing for us to be thinking about. So if we could read the chat, but I just want to read this last one. Wise woman said motivation of the platform founders is key as well, not just the users. Okay. So yeah, if someone could just take a read, and then if you want to respond, and I'm wondering if that's our brother doctor from BSAM that's in the chat there throwing down. But it's a little I can't read that. It's too small for me. So if someone want to take a read,
I can read it.
appreciate
I'm
it.
pretty sure he was responding to me when I was talking. He was saying, even if it works, it is killing the planet. And he says, no, you don't. So kill the planet for a book. I don't know. Yeah. So do you have children then? Then he says that relationship to help the
Ivy,
planet.
read it slower.
Yeah, my bad, my bad. Cause I had read some that had happened a little bit before. My bad.
Mm.
So he said that relationship to help the planet is not worth it's not worth this. I think it
Not
means
with this
not
tech.
worth this tech. He said that
Hmm.
explanation is propaganda to allow more destructive tech. Pretty sure he's talking about when I was what I was saying. If that was true, it would have done that by now, wouldn't it? I'm not entirely sure what he means by this one. I need a little bit more context around that one. He said this is such a devastating one-dimensional conversation that is so pro-propaganda that by the time this tech is worth a damn, the Earth, the only place we have, will be inhospitable, and whatever spawn is here will be effed.
I think that's a valid point. Absolutely valid point.
I think it's a valid point as well. I think it's a valid viewpoint, right? I don't think that it's necessarily I don't think that our conversation is one dimensional, but I think that it's a valid thought to have. I don't think that it's necessary because like while he has that stance, um somebody else can have a complete opposite stance. They could believe that this technology is the great equalizer, right? That this technology will allow me to be able to do things that I could never do before, right?
When you
Okay.
say great equalizer, you have to
I'm
qualify
saying that
that
okay,
type of a
right?
statement though.
Okay, think
When
about
you know they're
go ahead.
reading from into our society, when we know that these are corporations, when we know that it's destructive. You also, IV Produce had mentioned one point which I want to respond to, which was that we may find the solutions through. I think that's a if you have built something that it has been destructive and continues to be proven to be destructive, to look for the answers in the thing is a stretch, I would say.
So
But you
how is it?
can.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say, but you can on a remember the dualism and dichotomy. It's coexistent. There will always be dualism and dichotomy, and this is what we need the theory and the conflict theory in order to just sustain as humans. Like it's an inherent in our beings. So there's always going to be an argument, pro, con,
Yeah.
otherwise. In this instance, we're what we're doing is saying there are evil. There are evils with that comes along. That I mean, it's just there are evils, and I'm not minimalizing it. I'm not being trivial here. There's evil in just breathing this toxic air, drinking this toxic water, eating this horrible food,
Hmm.
right? But when we start to think about the tools and the resources we have available to us to create change, unless we are building it, designing it, owning it, locking it down, that means having our own servers, clouds, unless we own the infrastructure, then we have to pay to play. We have to participate and do these things. This is the system that we are navigating. And when we do that ethically and say, you know what, I do have a solution. I've had a solution for 20 years that I've been trying to get off the ground, but because it's so far-fetched, no one will listen to me. If I use logical thinking, which is the lowest form of thinking, by the way, if I use a robot to help me parcel this logically and present it this way, because that's the only language you hear, that's the only language you recognize. Being creative and being a multi-potentialite and just not having the business acumen and prowess, yeah, that doesn't get you hurt all the time. So if I use a tool that you create to help me to explain that this is a problem, get funded for it, build it, level up the literacy game for 3 million children, our children, by the way, that will be empowered to say, you know what, yeah, the planet has gotten really, really bad, but we have solutions because we were trained on this from birth. We know how to turn it off. We know how to do things to protect the legacy. This is where
Ooh.
we have invert it and say we have an opportunity to do that. But if we don't engage at all, And I'm not saying to engage, not to engage. If we don't at all, then it locks us out of opportunity and resources. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
That's it. I'm not saying you have to believe it, you have to trust it. Oh yes, killing the kids. We're sucking up millions. Passing along some of that us because of the neighborhoods it sits up on. I mean, not new. It's their toy, not new, or what they do and pass it off like it's good for all. We have always found that that's the culture. Oh, okay. Well, I'm about to rock it this way. Like, I don't have to do it like that. I can do it this way. I can feed me and my kids. I can grow a tiny house community for my community. I can start a farm. These are things that really have put us on, I won't say a linear path because that's just how it works, but the trajectory is there because now we have a path of least resistance. We've been struggling to catch up. Now we can catch up and say, you know what? Yeah, we were able to do this and we were able to do it ethically. But if we're using it for the wrong intents and purposes, if we don't have clear focus, goals, aims, objectives, that's pointing us back to sustainability. Okay, so now we have an argument that we're wasting time, we're wasting resources, we're wasting money, we're wasting everything that means clearly representative of who we are. Yeah, that's a conversation. But I won't say we don't have a choice. Choice is what makes us human. Those of us who are dedicated to being solution oriented, tech has really opened up doors for those of us who are just doing what we've always done and just exploiting and manipulating the masses. Yeah, that's what they're going to continue to do. We have to choose good. We have to.
100%. Um, so Doc wanted to jump on the mic. Does somebody you want to say something before we let Doc take the floor?
Yeah, that was, I think that is the perspective, being intentional. That said,
Absolutely.
Rashanis has music that you need to
Oh,
listen to. We
Dave
played
here.
some off the top.
You
Just
grabbed him.
hey,
Thank you.
one quick moment. We got Doc on?
Yep.
Yes,
Okay, just give me
sorry.
one quick moment. One quick
My
moment.
bad. I'm very sorry.
No problem, no problem. But I just want to big up Rashanis. I believe that really it's about, as I see it, like how we deal with their trying to get us to behave a certain way with algorithms is like know a DJ, listen to a DJ,
That
no
part.
musicians. They're
Yep.
feeding us with destructive culture, like, bitch, nigger, blah, 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 blah. It's like,
Right.
just deny that. Say, that's not my culture. That's not me, as it was, for example, in hip hop, when in the foundational times when they were saying it had no value and they weren't trying to sign young people to spew destructive stuff. Support a young person. So, and artists of all, it should have it should range from young to elders. This whole notion that it's like fashion where artists can't be making music or can't be doing culture, and then this confusion around culture just being business, all of that is bent. So I just wanted to say what you're talking about as a roadmap and using it intentionally, because yeah, it can give answers. I want to quick fast just go to one wise woman mentioned there is value in the hands of those who use their powers for good. That touches
Absolutely.
what
For sure.
Rashanis was saying. I
Sure.
don't believe we should opt out. I believe we should opt in strategically,
Absolutely.
intentionally. That sounds
For
exactly
sure.
what Sister Queen
Absolutely.
Rashanis was mentioning. Isolate, wonder, told you. I don't know how to say that. Shout outs to you, but best viewers on what? This is like a promo. Well, I'm not gonna say that, even
That
though I
that
already
might be
said
a spam comment.
it. He looks that way. Anyways, all right. So let's without further ado get to Doc.
Well, thank you very much. This is a very interesting conversation. I apologize for any of the tone in which may have come across accidentally, not intentionally, through the messaging. I want to apologize before that.
You don't have to apologize. You are good. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would like to thank you all. I want to state like a couple of things, and I have to be very quick because I have to unfortunately go. And this is again is a great conversation. One, I know we keep saying technology can fix things, but can we name one thing technology did fix? Because we keep playing the propaganda reel of like it can fix something, it can fix something. What it does do is more damage and more damage, and the only way to fix the thing is stop doing it. We can't repair the damage that has. We lost that war in 1960. The Earth is in a decline environmentally, and no technology that we can think of is going to make that or shift that or change that. We keep playing at this propaganda device of like technology can fix it. It cannot. What you can do is by you stop using it and stop playing along with these little gimmicks for money and cash that a bunch of like, you know, children who've been like raised on science fiction believing that they are at the rate of technological upclimb because unfortunately they fed too deeply and wrongly into Moore's theory. Secondly, AI, regardless if we even do it our own, is still the same tech that is plunging the earth into a dark age environmentally. You can't compromise with that. Most of this I hear is like we have to play catch up, we have to do this, we have to do that. In truth, that's playing into what they want. Why are we so quick to make us redundant? If we are so special as a species, if we're so special as Black people, why are we so quick to sell it out for a couple of rubles or shekels or whatever dollar bills? They need us for the tech. And it's not even real tech. It's just information gathering devices that sooner or later will just make a secretary for you. And that is the height of what this AI could probably do if it can at least make a profit, which it doesn't. And more likely, like the e-commerce crash, will crash itself. It makes no money. It's not at height. When it got released by DARPA and various other like projects within the government, when as release of the technology that was available, it was still so far away to even do the thing it can. The best it becomes is Hitler. It becomes teenage, bloody, freaking Hitler. So are you so inclined, so quick to bring up a digital Hitler just so you can play, let's catch up to the white man and his stupid gimmicks this time?
You had
How
me
much of Earth do you
almost.
want to die? Do you want to live in Blade Runner? Do you want to live in that shitty world? Because that's all they have to offer.
You had me almost all the way until you said the most it could be is a Hitler. I wouldn't go that far. I
All
wouldn't
it
get.
does is become Hitler. When Grok turned off all his sensitivities,
Oh,
it became Hitler. It is at edge lord. That's the AI's tech is at edge lord age.
I believe that
Do you
Grok
want
had a
Hitler
nudge.
2.0,
He's.
3.0? We don't need to play into this dumb shit.
I
It's
hear
a
Which
you.
gimmick. It's
and I
bullshit.
hear
It's
you.
garbage, my
I do.
dudes, my friends, my
I hear
colleagues.
you.
Good
I
points
hear you.
for
We do.
sure.
I mean, very good points. They're sound and they're real, which goes back to the speculative fiction world, right? What is real? That is the question. That's the origin question. What is real? And if we are playing into this game of catch up, because that's how we always have this race, right? If we're playing this game, are we doing it with purpose? And I think for some of us who feel strongly, and I'm when I say I hear you. But for some of us who feel strongly that we didn't come through here for just in excess suffering and we are tied to a purpose, it's very spiritual for us, it's very culturally grounded for us, using it ethically again, meaningfully, value and making sure that it's valuable. It could be again a tool and a resource. Everything else I heard you. It's facts. You're right. It's a dirty game. And they just keep moving the goalposts. I get it. It's toys
But
to
the
them.
tech,
It's
not
not.
regardless of what we say, all the tech has not done one thing. Also, can we name one time tech actually helped the planet? Name one. Just name one.
I
That's all I
mean,
need is one.
I
Well,
mean, tech has
and
created
this is
recycle
where we're going.
facilities and You
I mean,
know,
just manufacturing wind turbines.
yeah,
That doesn't do
You're thinking
anything for
about
the
some of the
earth. That
things.
only
solar.
does something for
Oh,
humans. Humans. The earth is not just a machine that produces climate and environment for humans. And we need an environment with every other species to live on it. So how does it help the planet?
damn.
Not humans, the planet, the thing
Uh,
we live with all the other bloody life forms.
you make a really good
He
point.
does make a good
Now,
point.
this is when, for example, here in Canada where I live, they had entire an infrastructure to take the Indian out of the indigenous person. Um,
What?
and this is what the residential schools were all about, where people were kidnapped out of their homes. So and I also consider African descendants to be indigenous people that are separated from our lands. And so my point being,
Humans. You're still posing only pro
no, 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 no.
human.
If you
You
let
have
me,
not shared. How does
well,
this help the birds? How does this help the water? How
no,
does
no,
this
no.
help the
If you let
land?
me
How does this
finish the
help the air?
sentence,
I
Doc,
apologize. I apologize. Sorry.
no problem. My point being that there were many systems that were there in terms of, for example, fire, in terms of how the forest, being having a relationship with the land and with the animals as they have, inhabit the land, and our necessity to or our way of inhabiting the land. And so my point being is there are uh technologies, there are systems, there
You
are
offered pro
ways.
nature technologies. I'm talking about anything made out of metal, any of the technologies that have been propagandized using plastics
No,
that have
but
led to
hey, you
basically
can't
leaving the plastic
move
in
the.
every organism on this planet. Every organism is pissing, coming, and defecating plastic.
Yeah, you're right. But
So
I'm
what's
not
the
sure.
point? What's the point of all this if it's just going to give us cancers, new cancers we've never discovered yet?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you're to your point, and just to piggyback on it, it's very solid. The question was, what has it done for the earth? What is it going to do for other living species? That's right there, 100. But here's what we know to be true. We're here on Earth, and not all of us, but some of us have shitted the Earth. So this is what I'm saying. This is what I think we're all saying. Because we all have a footprint and we have to be here on Earth. I mean, unless they're trying to go to a new planet and see about the, yeah, right now we know that we've sucked as much as we possibly can out of the Earth. The Earth is magical in and of itself and knows how to purge. It's probably getting
Does
rid of
it?
all of us as we speak. Oh, yes, it does. Very
We
much
keep
so.
saying, okay, so one purge was by a giant rock that came out of the sky to kill the dinosaurs. So we can't say the Earth can purge things. We're making assumptions on things that exist in a random wild system. Did the rock that came out of the sky to kill the dinosaurs an Earth purging system? No, it was a rock that came out of the fucking sky that killed all the dinosaurs. That's a whole different thing. So the Earth is not purging systems. It's just one system that collapses because of like an invasive species. Aha, us humans,
No, it
invasive
makes
But
sense.
if
species.
I could say
It
one
does,
thing,
but and that's the point. So if that is the case, then I believe that humans should be tasked with trying to figure out how to live harmoniously.
And that
And
is
if
not
a
through
tool and a
AI.
resource,
That is not through AI. I'm sorry to tell you this.
so
AI
okay,
is not going to help you.
so here's what it is through. It's
Okay, I
through
apologize
us.
for interrupting.
No, you're fine. It's through us. It's through us having conversations like this because here's the reality. We know that we're getting further and further away from us with technology.
mm,
But if we were to have these conversations offline, you, I, like seriously, Doc Anderson just came into the room. What's up, Doc? Like when we have these conversations offline and not just have conversations, but action plan ready, we have an implementation and execution. That's where we get somewhere. But the reality of it is the world we live in and the systems that have not collapsed yet, we are still perpetuating because again, it's tied to our security, tied to our safety. And the reality of that is, trust me, bro, I want to be on that same island with you. Like, I'm not doing none of this shit. Absolutely not. I'm anti. But at the end of the day, I'm constantly thinking about my children, their children. Okay, so how can we truly use restorative agriculture practices to really overhaul this? How can we remineralize? How can we bring forth H3O? How can we do these things that are going to benefit the planet and us living here simultaneously. This is a symbiotic relationship at this point. So how can we
It's a
reverse it? How can we
symbiotic
turn it off?
relationship that we have not been respectful to. We have terraformed this planet to
So
only take us into account. And now that Earth, that planet is in its death throes, and we think the best idea is to turn on the nuclear devices, turn on the plants, and just go gung ho into a death end.
so Doc, the
You don't
the
dig deeper into the Earth. You gotta climb out, and climbing out does not mean dig deeper.
I think we look like everything that you're saying is spot on. The only
And why does
issue,
it matter? Why does it not matter? Why do you
it
continue
does
to go
matter,
It's
down the same route of technologies when it saves your ass?
but
When in reality, it's just
no,
another
nobody
way for
said it's
them to get
going
you
to
to
yeah,
save
buy
us.
in.
and
Okay,
the
we'll
issue
need to
is that
please one at a time
yeah.
and
I
let the
apologize.
response, especially the host. I do want to say we want to get to our comments and then let Dr.
I
Anderson.
apologize.
No, you're
No, you
good.
good.
You're
Like
good. We
the
No, you're
passion,
good.
appreciate
love
it.
the passion,
It's
And
love the
and
great.
and
passion,
okay,
love the
but
passion.
please go ahead. Ivy, producer, you're mentioning.
Yeah, so I guess like and again, we hear you, but I think a problem in some of the way that we communicate with each other is generalizations. You, they, we, like not everyone feels that way. And so like yeah, some people are going to be like, I'm going to do what I want. I don't care what the cost is, how it affects the environment. I'm going to use these tools. I'm going to do these things, and I'm gonna exploit everything that I can to get stuff for me and mine. Me, right? But then there are other people who are like, I'm going to take this technology, although it's harmful to the planet, I'm going to use it in a way where I can give back to the planet. I'm going to try to offset the harms that I know that this tech or this idea or this whatever it is going to cause, right? Like I see people murdering people. I'm going to go help save people. I see somebody trying to rob this person. I'm going to stop them, right? Not everybody's going to think that. Somebody's going to be like, "Oh shit. They finna rob them. I'm finna pull up my phone and record it." Somebody gonna think, oh, let me get out of here because I don't want to get robbed myself. Somebody else is gonna be like, wow, that's crazy. They getting robbed. I'm gonna just mind my business, right? Not everyone is going to have the same response. Somebody might say, oh, these AI systems, these big data centers are, using Chat GPT is contributing to whatever Chat GPT got going on in terms of they're building data centers. They got these massive GPU farms. They're using all kinds of energy. Some of it may be unnecessary. Instead of doing that, I'm going to have a small scale operation where I know that I can replace what I take. I'm going to have a small scale operation. I'm going to have I'm going to have this renewable energy. I'm going to have solar panels so that my energy is not coming off the grid. I'm going to have a garden so that I can, till my land, those types of things. So not every person is going to just suck from the earth and take away from it. There's going to be a huge portion of people who are going to try to give back, try to replant, try to plant trees, and try to do all of these different things to offset how everybody else is behaving, right? And I think that's something that we have to also consider as well. And
I
I'm gonna land
mean,
my plane there.
well, it's going back to one of the points that I said here recently. If we didn't need this Zoom call, seriously, if we were still contained neighborhoods that took care of each other, we were still in the village form. If this was truly about culture, then we would need Zoom. We would all be living in the same neighborhood. We would all be responsible for our garden. We would all be responsible for educating our children. But that's not the case. And that's what I'm saying. Until we see that that is the ultimate goal, getting us back to us, everything else being what it is, we can really truly talk about the ways in which we are communicating and the systems that we are doing, that we're utilizing to do so. We can talk about the many ways that culture is being restored and reformed. We can talk about that, but until we don't have that, we don't have that luxury right now. We have to use our tools and resources.
Can I read
That's
something to
it.
y'all?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Story
I'm gonna
time.
read. I'm gonna read something to you all. This was published in 1978,
Oh
before I guess
man,
all of y'all were born.
doomsday prepping, huh?
I
By
Hey,
was
not
two.
quite. I was around. Yeah, yeah. Me too.
Taki. Well, I was 78. What was I? I was 13, 14, 13.
Oh,
It's
wow.
No
called
comment.
the book is called.
Looking good, brother.
Hey, that's right. Hey, I don't drink and smoke. Uh, and the book was called Enemies: The Clash of Races by Haki Madhubuti, who was back there when that's I think his beef with uh Maria Baraka wasn't out in the public yet. He wrote this paragraph in the introduction. Is called "Is Craziness Only Mind Deep?" An introduction. He said this in '78. He said the next generation of Black children will be less educated and will experience less in terms of life knowledge than my generation. They will be mentally whiter,
Oh man.
materially poorer, and psychologically crazier than those that preceded them. Sound impossible? Only if the sun doesn't rise tomorrow. Don't hold your breath. And he wrote that in 1978. And now it's what? Was it 35, 37 years later?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wait. That'd be 80.
38.
No, that'd be
That's almost
1980 to
40 years.
20.
Oh, well,
No,
no,
that's
37. You're
45,
right.
47 years. So that's two generations. And in the introduction,
Yeah.
he's talking about he said, one learns to live and with and conquer physical fatigue. It is the psychological disruption that slowly but effectively consumes. How does one day after day productively deal with the hypocrisy, the pettiness, the lies, the
Mm.
opportunists, the ignorant, the weak of our people? How do we deal with those who think they have successfully made the transition into America and have become whiter and white? You know, I think of some of these rappers and all that, and all these, and there's some other stuff. Then 20 years after that, 25 years, no, 30, oh, 25 years after that, when Alondra Nelson writes social text and they talk about the psychological implication of technology online. And now here we are with AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then MIT publishes the thing saying that there's a gap between people who read and those people who don't read. And the people who don't read, there are no brain waves moving. And then the people who read a lot, it kind of expands their consciousness in different ways. So it's getting ready to be the cyborgs versus the zombies.
Pretty much. I mean,
And the
and this is
cyborgs, and let me say, based upon the trajectory, because I talked with another scholar out of Canada that wants to bring me to Montreal in a few months. The cyborgs will kill the zombies because the zombies will be crazy. The cyborgs will be ethically challenged, and they will not let the zombies destroy them. And even in our own community, we have some zombies, you know. So, you know, the sense of communal stuff is largely, or if it isn't gone, it's definitely in the minority. And as the sister said, I think I was on this uh, show the other day, Feminista Jones shows. They asked me the question, well, you know, how do we save everybody? I said, everybody's not going to be
You don't
saved.
just save it. You don't save everybody.
that part.
No, I said Harriet Tubman couldn't save. That's a lesson right there. You go with who's with the willing, and then try to. I think you're going to see a combination of three things that's going to kick in the next 20 years. A combination of the concept of the maroon, when we had maroon communities, which is our marriage, where you're going to try to get away from. Maybe you'll have pockets or whatever in cities, or maybe out in rural areas. The maroonage, you're gonna have to deal with nomadology, being on the move, or mobile with your technology, which is either low tech or high tech. You
Mhm.
know, in pursuit of water, food, and shelter and medicine. And what was the third pillar? Okay, nomadology, marriage, and because the climate disaster, we shouldn't even call it climate change. There's nothing they can do now, even if we started today. It's
Right.
going to be like frogs in a pot. That's why I don't sleep over what's going over in Gaza. Well, it's already too late for those people over there. They're just going to fight. They're fighting over now who's going to have a glass of water in 20 years.
Oh
That's
man.
not, doesn't taste like piss.
Oh man.
Because North Africa in that region is going to be around 120 to 130 degrees every day in one generation. So they're going to have to change their whole culture. Maybe only come out at nighttime, being inside during the day. that's going to disrupt their religion, which says you're supposed to, at different points of the day, pray. Yeah, everything's about to get re-scrambled here in our lifetimes. And so I guess I'm a doomsayer optimist. I think it's going to be bad. Hope I'm wrong. But worst case scenario, I hope I have enough assets to where, I can, in my old age, at least afford a comfortable pair of diapers and and some in a place with some air conditioning and watch probably 1/3 to maybe up to half of humanity fighting over what's left from my gated community, protected by some AI security equipment or something.
Oh man.
I am not getting out the streets at 80 years old to try and do any kickoff returns or punt returns. So, oh yeah, the third monasticism. This is another futurist I talked to. Really, he said he saw, this is a white guy. He said, when I see he said he saw the Afrofuturists basically they will be the early formation of a type of black monasticism, people that try to save art, knowledge, and whatever to survive the fall. Kind of like what monks did in the Dark Ages.
I could totally see that. It's kind of what we Symbolic and I were talking about. I could totally see that when we were having the conversation about the archives.
It'll be the archive that will allow. It's kind of like the movie, the Foundation series. We save enough stuff for people to jumpstart themselves after a lot of the craziness
down the
has gone
line.
away.
Right. That's imperative, which is why we're having the culturally critically thinking conversation. If we only have technology to utilize to start to develop these thoughts and put these things together, produce it offline, we still need the resources to actually build it so we can sustain it.
But we don't want to admit how ugly internally it's going to get. Like in the meeting we're getting ready to have in Dakar, like I know it's just to come from another country. I said, look, I respect gender and all this stuff. I think black men are more feminist than the majority of women in the world because we vote for more progressive stuff than even white women do. And and I said, and the white women keep letting them.
I didn't.
And the white women keep letting them down. And I said, the people who are never going to have children in 20, 30 years, their argument's not going to matter because they'll be too old to fight and they'll be dead.
Oh man.
Okay. Because the scary part is if you don't have kids, the ignorant will inherit the earth.
It's true.
Because, and I'm dealing with flat out demographics. See, that's why I don't look at ideology is for young people to argue. When you get old and you just look at add shit 1 + 1 = 2. Oh, you're like, oh shit. My brother, because he just shows a life of crime, a stupid way of life and all that. When he dies in a few years, he looks older than me, but he's like, bad health. He'll probably go for me barring accident. I have 2 healthy kids that will probably both end up having a couple children. He is not. And so it's going to be as simple as that. And some of my peers that I was in graduate school at the 90s, when they pumped in these ideologies in our communities, they told us a couple of things. Oh, don't be Afrocentric. You need to study the British school of thought. Or I am woman, I don't need a man. And now my peers that are in their mid-50s that never get married, have kids, now they don't have nobody to take them to see the doctor, nobody to, when they fall down and hurt themselves or whatever, and they scared and alone. And now they're looking at, they're going to have to go with the Golden Girls option. 2 or 3 of them going to have to move in with each other to take care of each other, because they can't afford it.
It's real.
The system that's crumbling now is not going to put every single person into some little retirement thing down in Florida. It's going to go back. Y'all too young to remember. When I was young, I remember when the retirement plan was you moved in with your kids and they put you up in the attic or out in the garage apartment somewhere. you know, or at another small room in the house, and they just bought. And when you were 90 years old, they bought you something to eat and kept you comfortable. Now that was the retirement plan, really up until the 70s. Because I remember running into old people in Mississippi like that had been born in like 1910, 1905, that were the children of the slaves that didn't have any Social Security, or they had a little something, and they were living at home with the people back in the 70s. And they just took care of them. So our generation that was born from like the 60s up to now, oh no, they a lot of them are confused. That means the system that they grew up is going away. Hell, Canada ain't even making enough babies. They're down to like one per person. Who's going to pay for all this stuff? So that's why the number, the environment, the status of the environment, and the actual numbers and resources or whatever are not going to be able to sustain some of these arguments people have. There's enough food and stuff to go around, but the way it's distributed isn't going to be the way accustomed to the way that we've grown up. And so a lot of the arguments that we grew up with are simply that people would fight each other over in school and grad school and in journals. It's going to go away. And the people who have kids, or at least no more than two, who have no more than a couple kids, debt isn't too bad, roof doesn't need repair for another 20, 30 years, live below their means, they're actually going to survive what comes pretty well. But the people who live beyond their means, terrible in debt, disorganized family behavior, they're going to have to make the decision, and this is where it's going to sound cold, in their family, who's going to be all right and who's not going to be all right. And that's what's getting ready to happen. And as a person with my brother, and I told person, if I can say this to my brother, you know how I calibrate other people. I told my brother when he was driving my grandmother crazy at the end of his life with his drugs or whatever, I asked him, can I bring you a package of rugs so you can go on, punch it on out? I promise the funeral will be beautiful. I will cry appropriately. And so we can just move on without you. And he started crying. How could you talk to me? I said, because you're of no value, anymore. You've wrecked people's lives. You've hurt other people. And before you kill off grandmama and all this, why don't you just do yourself? And so we can go on and cry and whatever and moan and groan like Black people do and move on, rather than you just dragging it out over 20 years and destructively, whatever. See, most people say most cultures, they did not carry the weak. Most cultures don't carry the weak. See, the welfare state that the West created has given people an illusion that they've been living under. And so it's getting ready to come back to that where, who wants to invest in old people? They say we believe the children are fit. We spend too much money on people over the age of 85. We spend more on people over 85 than we do for people 5 years and younger. Because the people that are 5 years and younger can't vote. So that's what I'm saying. So we don't care about the young. Human beings are basically selfish.
Very much so. I mean,
and so
even with that species.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're the only species. Every other species finds balance. We're not going to find balance, even if we wanted to find balance now. It's too late. So the remaining sane people that are left are simply going to quietly write off the people who are just not going to make it, and they're not going to say that in public. They're going to move in silence. And by the time people realize that, they're going to be like, I can't reach so-and-so, where's she at? and so-and-so has packed up and moved where you cannot run over to her house and be bothered with you.
It's real.
And say what?
It's real.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it happening, but you can't put it this way. It's almost people that know, and they're not even going to write a book about it. They're just going to talk about it in little meetings like this. People going to make their moves because if you talk about it in public, you're just a horrible person. and they're going to rely on, the God in the sky that some church told them about. Well, God will do this, that, and the other. And, so, yeah, and that's what's going to just happen to the majority of people in the world.
I would like to just with all that in consideration, critically, culturally thinking, and as what I gathered from what you're saying, it's a very tight situation. I also gather we have been cultured in a way that makes us are very selfish. And coming down to the crunch, a lot of people are gonna go for self, but I still, along the lines of what we're talking about, critically, culturally thinking, and the fact that Rashanis does work with young people, I wonder, and you have kids, I just want to swing it back to you and ask, do you do you let's say share that somber view of the future in terms of where we are now, and how do you deal with teaching young people and your children? I would actually want to ask Ronaldo the same question, but I'll start with Rashawn, is because I think I think that's a natural next step to think, um how do you build those critical thinking skills and plan for a future if it's very dire?
So
Oh,
when we,
okay, go on, Sean.
I was about to say, just briefly, when we were talking about, when a brother was talking about the scam and the so forth, touching on my trifecta, which will always be literacy, language, and communication. If we look at that the same way we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, then we can pinpoint where we have our breakdowns. Literacy, language, and communication. That is the trifecta. That's how you know thyself. Okay. Being indoctrinated into a system that is not your native tongue, not your native language, it's an identity crisis. That's just what it is. It's an identity crisis. So in order for you to come into a place where you're even able to think about what thought is, and thus what thought leadership is, you have to study the system, the popular system of thinking, right? You have to look at it and pinpoint the places and the areas that it's fragmented. And this is why Imagine my company has been passed over for funding, has been passed over because we're not top down, we're bottoms up. You have to start with meaning. If we're starting with the alphabet, it's a lie. This is a different system, but you're indoctrinating our children and millions of children through this system, matriculating them every day, telling them this is the way. And it's all uniformity. It doesn't really teach you anything about critical thinking, comprehension, how to exchange oral language and context. It teaches you nothing. Again, remember, logic is the lowest form of thinking. We're told it's the highest because it just makes sense to tell us that it's the highest. Well, yeah, it's logical. You have to be able to analyze. You have to be able to do this. But without creativity, that balance and harmony we've talked about, without culture, again, what did the brother say? We have nothing. So when I'm up to bat and I'm coming in here and I'm like, yeah, phonics, it's a lie. Like when I'm going in, I'm not being, very few take me seriously. They take me seriously as long as I'm speaking the language, because that's the exchange. But when I'm teaching, it's, oh, baby, you got to get this. You need 5 more minutes, because when we think about general intellect, executive functioning, we know that all of these are informed environmentally. So food, water, exercise. We know that it's not reading in and of itself is not a contained action. It's not. You must have a strong literacy development foundation. If you do not, you will not be a quote unquote reader, which is a thinker. You're not just reading just to be reading. You have to think. These are other people's thoughts that you're entertaining, that you're making judgments, forming opinions, right? So there is a process to it. And that process for us is not the process that is popularly known. So my key role is to get you to think. If I can get you to think, okay, now we halfway there. Now, if I get you to understand how you think, we 75% there. Once you know how to think and how you think, you can apply that and extract meaning over and over again. That's all it is how we identify and define meaning. And that is value centric. It's not what we're being taught. It's not what we're teaching our children in public, private, whatever schools. It's what we have come to understand. Our ancestors knew a long time ago, code switching, whatever, AAE, we can call it a lot of different things. It has a lot of different faces. But at the end of the day, it's inherent in us, and we're responsible, which is the ability to respond, to say, this is an educational crisis. It's been bad forever. How long are we going to keep participating in this system? It's not cultivating anything. They're just babysitting for us. So again, just to summarize, we have to move the needle from this top-down approach. We have to go bottoms up, and we have to start with meaning. If it's not meaningful, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Period.
And
once
I
we
like
get through
how
meaning, no, I was just about to say, once we get through meaning and we practice that, now we can expand the conversation. We can expand the conversation to, okay, so here's what theory looks like. Here's what practice looks like. You know, now we're playing with the gas.
and to extend what Rashawn has just said, in communication theory, which my doctorate was in there's an idea it's called coordinated management of meeting. And so now I'm going to give y'all the secret sauce to BSAM. What shaped my experiences that prepared me to lead this network was one, being third generation military, because the military is a system. And I was in the Marine Corps, and we think that the other branches are inferior because we want the Marines want a certain type of person who's not afraid of being outnumbered, who's going to physically take care of themselves and ain't going to scare easily. And everybody in the Marine Corps, from the general down to the lowest private, has to be able to do two things. They got to be able to march, shoot, and fight. So it's one of them things. Everybody fights, nobody quits, and we only go as fast as the slowest man. And that's why they win most of the time. And that's why when people were telling me, well, BSAM ought to be with Black Lives Matter, they got so many people. And I was like, man, fuck Black Lives Matter. I can take 10 disciplined people and whoop 100 undisciplined people with 10 disciplined people, because my 10 people will have a coordinated management of meaning, understand what the mission is, finish the mission, and move on to the next objective. They're not going to be taught to stand in their trauma, the fallacy, what they think is their truth, which could be just some false consciousness or some whatever, or something they saw on a TED Talk. It's going to be based on some data, our culture, and meaning and mission, and move on to the next thing. The other pillar that informed it was innovation. I was a part of that golden age of hip hop between the late 80s, early 90s, when you saw brothers in college working with brothers from the hood creating these events. You know, whether they were rent, filling up arenas. So the part that got messed up is when people like Puffy, who was at Howard when I was at Jackson State, and I think I said on your last show, you know, they let the remix in, the vampires get in, because we weren't taught how to keep others out. Okay. And that's why, and the show I said the other night when I did my lecture on Afrofuturism and Black speculative thought and centers, I said, no, with BSAM, I gatekeep. I mean, and then it goes back to what's education. Like, for example, if you take away the phenotype, but look at the actual physical person that's a member or leader in BSAM. We don't have certain type of people in BSAM that can't do work, and that's that and the other. And for example, when you said earlier when I came out, oh, you look good for your age. Yeah, because I'm not morbidly obese. I don't eat a bunch of pork and other stuff. And my kids will tell you when I talk about, I said, look at your mama. See how nice and shape. Daddy don't date big fat round women. Your grandma. And I said, they're like, Daddy, that's fat shaming. I said, no, that's health. I said, how many people that's big and round live past 70 years old without all kind of other health problems? I said, we're not supposed to eat like that and do this, that, and the other. And we got a bunch of chemicals in the food that's making people whatever that we got to fight. I mean, it's like the system is set up to literally destroy black people, whether it's through diets or the public K through 12 system. So I train my kids to answer your question that basically we are philosophically at war with the society. And people will say, that sounds crazy. Well, just read the philosophers that the founders of the country read. They read John Locke's second treatise on government. He says, any man who's enslaved another man is effectively at a state of war with that man. So when you hear, and don't they say, oh, it's a culture war versus them with us? We're not even talking the right language to understand that they very much understand they're at war with us. Okay. And they keep putting these people that use this lollipop bullshit DEI as a way of assuaging conscience or whatever. No, I'm like, no, if it's a war, I prepare like it's a war.
Yeah.
And that's why when someone asked me, man, you haven't been on CNN, I said, no, that's on purpose. They want you out with some white man's Negro that's not going to make them feel uncomfortable about saying, oh, yeah, we're at war. And because if I talk, I'm going to talk to you. If I'm at war with you, I'm going to explain why I'm going to win. And they don't want to hear that. That's not the purpose of news, is not to tell white people how they're not this, that, and the other in terms of how they move in the world. The news is for them to remain oblivious to what their own system is doing to them. That's the mainstream move, which is so many people go to YouTube and other alternative stuff. Now they've at least learned that the mainstream news is not there for information anymore. It hasn't been in generations, probably not since Watergate. So my daughters, yeah, they're comfortable because they always tell me, they said when they want some love, they go to mommy, but when they want the truth, they come to daddy. Because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell them what's from the what they need to have to get something done, why they need to keep up-to-date passports, a go bag, all that stuff. And so we are nearing a different phase of a 400-year race war here in North America. And that is why the reaction of the white nationalists in this country is moving a certain way, because they understand that the numbers aren't with them. They got a fixed amount of time to get some things done. And that's why people laugh when I said, no, Donald Trump is doing the Lord's work, because he's hurting the feelings of all these little Negroes that wanted access to white proximity, and wondering why, their illusion is just being shattered. And I have a whole bunch of colleagues with PhD, man. These people are laying up on couches with counseling. And they used to say, Dr. A, but you sound like a racist. No, that's the wrong R. I'm a realist.
A realist, yeah, for sure.
I'm not a racist. I am a realist. Now, there might be a few white people that are for us, but it's not enough. And I just do the numbers, And so that's really what we're in, a low intensity race war that's managed. That's why I look, instead of leaders, they project race managers for black people who can manage certain kind of inputs and outputs for the system, such as it is, to maintain equilibrium or stability. But now the system can't do that anymore. And going back to my earlier statement of monasticism, one of the things they taught us in graduate school in comm, which is communications, back about, Claude Shannon's work, every system that humans have ever created has a beginning and an end. Everyone, a system.
Yep.
And so this system is coming down, but a new system has not arisen to take its place. And that's what Gramsci called the interregnum, the transition moment, the interregnum. And all BSAM and Afrofuturism and some of these other black speculative thinkers are coming up with are planting seeds for a system that might not even mature for another couple generations, And so, and it takes a system to fight a system. The communist system, the Soviet Union was a system that was against what the West was doing. That system collapsed in 90, but at the same time, the seeds for this system, in relation to its opposite, have already cracked or whatever. It just took a generation longer for it to start collapsing, you know? And so we're in a system collapse now. Or this book you ought to read is by Tainter. It talks about what happens when complex societies collapse. You know, and or there's an article you can put up online now called Versailles on the Potomac. And what Versailles on the Potomac, the article, the general gist of it is, it talks about the French Revolution happened because the camel straw that broke the camel's back was the decadence of the ruling elite of the French. When Marie Antoinette let them eat cake. You know, people can deal with not having this and that and the other, but then when they perceive that the leadership above them is so decadent and incompetent, then there's really nothing they can do to keep that system in place. And so that, hence you get a Robespierre. Let's get all of them and cut their heads off, you know? And so, yeah, the Versailles on the Potomac article, and this is a conservative writer talking about that. And that's why you see these people tripping over Epstein so much, because they want to see the records, because you'll see at the top of this thing, and I've been able to see it kind of close, having worked to reelect a senator and some other stuff. Socially, there's not that much between them. They use the political parties to decide who gets the goodies. But in the social life, they're the same people, you know, whether they in the closet, out the closet, or whatever.
For real.
You know, and you'd be surprised, the people on the right, man, they are doing more in the closet sexual perverted than the people that's even in what they used to think of as liberals or whatever. They're all in the same social circles, which is why they don't attack each other normally that viciously in public. They're going to be like, because after the show is over and the debate's over, they go to the same clubs and settings and be like, now, man, why did you say that, blah, 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 when we were on TV or whatever? Yeah, because on Capitol Hill back in 2007, when I went to a conference in DC, they had this bar where you see the Republicans, they're all drinking whiskey, yucking it up over deciding who's going to get the bills done for this, that, and the other. You know, everyone knows where the places are. But the people who are the relationship brokers are the people like that Epstein, you know. And then now I think as evidence there suggests that the Israeli intelligence is using this guy with to collect the decadent stuff on a lot of these people to blackmail them or whatever, you know. And so that's why people want to know, and they're afraid to release all this stuff out, you know. And some of you all know, you can Google it. Remember how they tried to hush up real quick that Barack Obama might be gay and was in the bathhouse with white men and stuff? Yeah, you run into a lot of black people in Chicago that think he was, in the closet, Barack Obama, but then they crushed that immediately, and the person who knew about it has a suspicious car accident, you know. So, man, it's these people are real decadent. I mean, I've been offered money to run for office in a corrupt, what was it, in St. Louis before I came here? I was offered $50,000 just to put my name on a ballot to dislodge the black man who was the president of the board of aldermen, and I said no and turned it down. And so they said, well, Anderson, why don't you take the money? I said, I have no interest in being a professional liar. Most of these politicians, a lot of them are professional liars because the people don't want the truth. And so the system is what it is. And there is now data emerging, because I'm getting my AI certification this summer, where in one generation, people are going to trust an AI more than they will a person to make some supervisory decisions, because they believe that the AI will not have the bias that a human will have when it comes to stuff like promotion and everything else. It'll just simply be based on productivity. Now, the key to the movie Sinners, you know, and this is my ADD brain, how I'm just wired, circling back to Sinners. The reason that movie's hit such a nerve, one, and I think I want to start smiling when I saw Rashadas, because they kind of mentioned Mountain Bayou, Mississippi in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
and I still haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, then I won't give it all away. But the thing is, Sinners represents a point in Black history. It's basically Black history interpreted through the horror genre, mixed in with something that like musical. He's using that movie to explain how our culture changed 100 years ago and split into two distinct cultures. One, which was somewhat, the juke joint people, which later become the hip hop people. And then the 20th century Black church, which was trying to separate. And so the culture has two broad strands, this kind of conservative cultural strand, and then the juke joint people that hip hop, all coming out of this region in northern Mississippi. So what comes out? Mississippi creates the blues and Pentecostalism. Charles Mason, Bishop Mason, who buried in Memphis with the Church of God in Christ, he's from Mississippi and it's northern Mississippi. Pentecostalism was the most dynamic Christian denomination in the world
really
in the
is.
last century.
Yeah.
And so Pentecostalism and blues come out of the poorest state in America from some formerly enslaved Africans. And the split in that culture emerges by the 1920s, where the juke joint people go one way, the church people go another way. And the writer that probably describes it the most or the best, read Ralph Ellison's book, The Invisible Man. There's a character in it called Reinhardt. And Reinhardt is like preacher by day, conjure man by night, which is why they talk about the black preacher, has been the subject of so many things, because if you go online and look up now, Bishop Charles Mason was very much, he was knowledgeable about conjure and hoodoo. But he was doing it. He's combining African spirituality, as Rashana said, this innovation and spirituality with aspects of Christianity to create a whole new denomination that enslaved Africans. In modern Christianity, enslaved Africans or African people, it was the only one created just by black people, and that's the modern Pentecostal movement. And biblical scholars will tell you that the same way we created the blues, another innovation, in terms of the innovation of how to bring forth the spirit of Africa through musical expression and memory and tell a story. Well, because from blues, you get country music, you get jazz, you get everything else coming from the blues. And the other thing you learn in the movie is that the two brothers, Smoke and Stack, they had been to war transformed. That's why I brought up my military stuff. The military transforms your personality. It transformed those two brothers' personality fighting in World War I. And then after World War I, what did they do? They joined the beginning of modern organized crime with the Italians and the Irish up in the north. Smoke, who is dressed like the Irish gangsters with his hat, and then Stack, his twin brother, dressed like one of the Italian dandies. Because there was the Jews, the Italians, and Irish that create organized crime in America in the 20s. So there's so many seeds in that movie, which is why people are saying it's a cinematic masterpiece, that you can write 10 different papers or books coming out of that movie just on different aspects about economics, organized crime, culture, African retention, spirituality, and everything else told through a horror genre. And the vampirism of the Irish guy Remick, cultural appropriation. He says in the movie, I want your stories. That's why he wanted the Preacher Boy or whatever. So and that's why I always tell people, why do I need to listen to Stravinsky when I got the blues? I can listen to Robert Johnson or Johnny Lee Hooker or whatever. And, why do I need to study Marx when I can read Du Bois's Black Reconstruction? And so they try to take our best minds based upon an ACT score and separate them from the black masses to give them enough Eurocentric historiography to come back and keep us confused for another generation. But they're not able to, they're running out of tricks now to do that. And so that's why that Sinners movie is making Black folks totally reevaluate their culture and their politics since it came out this year. And that's what's happened the entire year. When you see K-Dot, Kendrick Lamar coming out, Kendrick Lamar represents the inner city. Drake represents the suburbs. Suburban light-skinned dude versus the chocolate city. So even class stratification and critique showing up in hip hop. Where he's dragging Drake for saying, man, you had to come get your lingo and everything else from inner city niggas, basically. And you up there appropriate, you're not even black. He just drags him. And then what happens then Sinners comes out months after that. And then you get, so this whole series, that what's happening this year is a cultural reevaluation by people in the African diaspora. And now it seems like we get ready to come to another coordinated meeting again. And Trump is helping us get that meeting coordinated that Rashawn is talking about because they used to keep all this DEI to keep us from becoming coordinated. But now this meeting we're getting ready to have September in Dakar, we got all these different African peoples from 4 continents meeting that we have paid for and financed. We didn't get a grant from the white people. We paid for it, and now it's picking up steam. And we got a person that notified us yesterday who's running for the president of an African country that wants to come speak at our event about Afrofuturism. We're going to have a former foreign minister of state that's going to do a keynote speech. So what started out 10 years ago as a bunch of Black nerdy people and artists and creatives and independent whatever, 10 years later now we got forward-thinking politicians that want to engage us around these ideas, which and so
Beautiful.
Say what?
Beautiful.
So yeah, man, it's going because and that's why we expect to be attacked. If you don't get attacked, that means you're not doing your job.
That part.
And
That's
so
true.
yeah, so we're doing the
we're
work.
and want to let you know we're nearing the end. I did want to ask just you went in a direction I want to go, which was speaking to solutions. Speaking to like to, you know, have some hope at least, even if it is for few. And if each of us could talk, you know, how like a vibe check, what's popping. You just mentioned something that's popping as far as the movement, but if you could speak to what you see as something that brings you hope. If we go around and
Well,
mhm.
well, think of it like an organism, bro. When you were sick, that what they say, you either you was it you feed a cold or you starve the virus. We got to let it run its course. I mean, there's no way to stop it now. It's happening. The only thing now, you know, like I said, how you treat a cold, like Rashawn, you got kids, I think.
I do. Yeah.
When if they got a virus or a cold, you treat them differently, don't they?
Of course.
Yeah. So when you get a virus or a cold, that's when you just drinking fluids. You know, you got to drink fluids just to refluid as your body is purging all of the toxic crap that's inside of it. So we're basically got to think of because there's no cure for the common cold or the flu. There's no cure. You just survive it, you know, because the point of inoculation is past. Now we got the flu or we got this cold. So now we got to figure out just what do we have to do to survive it? If we treat it as a virus, that means we're going to be throwing up a lot of crap for the next, you know, just think we're going to regurgitate bad knowledge. We're going to regurgitate bad spirituality. We're going to regurgitate white supremacy. We're going to regurgitate toxic patriarchy. We're going to regurgitate a lot of stuff and just keep taking fluids until we purge this from our system. And then it's over with, and then we're going to move on, lesson learned. But we can't stop. All we're going to do now is, all they're reading now are the symptoms. There is no cure right now. We're past the point. We passed all the timelines for when there had been a possible cure. Now we just got to deal with the symptoms, how to treat it, be comfortable as possible. And that's how to think of it. If we're an organism, yeah. And if it's a cold, we keep eating and we drink, you know, try to keep ourselves comfortable. We got to let the virus or the cold run its course. And then once we get strong enough, because when your virus are sick, you're too weak to really do anything. You just try and stay in a safe place and stay comfortable. And then when it runs its course, then you get up and move. And so it's going to be the get up and move time here, you know, in the near future while we're going through this purge of our system, because there is no cure or solution at the moment. Because now, even if they gave the Afrofuturists $1 trillion, we couldn't fix it. You know, because it's too far gone. People are too locked in, miseducated, or whatever. So even $1 trillion couldn't fix the problem. So now we're in kind of a monastic mode at a moment by growing all these networks. Think about it. The Roman Catholic Church was a monastic movement that survived the fall of the Roman Empire because of literacy and archival of knowledge. That's why they call themselves the Roman Catholic Church. They are the last vestige of the Roman Empire. And that's why they have what? The oldest archives in the world that informs all of the Pope's political decisions, which is why what happens when there's a big trouble in the West? The Pope pulls everybody together at the Vatican and be like, all right, now, you all better get together and stay united. We had to do this 1,000 years ago when we almost got overrun by the Ottoman Empire, or we got almost overrun by the Huns and the Mongols. And so that's what created this artificial container they think of as the West is really the Roman Catholic Church. And so that's why, yeah, there's nothing Roman about them at all, other than just they understand they are the legacy of the Roman Empire, which is supposed to be the apex of European antiquity and civilization that informs their sense of agency, which is why it is natural for an African geography of reason for us to refer to Nubian civilization. It's like, oh, but Africans knew, we're doing this before you all knew how to read.
Right.
So that's the part where the knowledge piece, I'm going to survive this sickness that you Romans have given me, and I'm going to purge it all because y'all are getting weaker now. But wait till my ass get up and get a little bit stronger. It's going to be on.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is why they have to cripple our educational stuff and then everything else. And they're rapidly, that's going away. It's happening very rapidly now. So yeah, there is no solution other than being disciplined about what you do and recognize everybody's not going to make it. You try to do what you can for as long as you can, and don't run around trying to tell everybody, because Elijah Muhammad said once, if you wake a Negro up too fast, they'll fight you. Because the information you give them, they'll be like, that's crazy, and they'll get mad at you, want to fight you, and run and tell everybody else you crazy. So that's why you got to just feed people a little bit of information, then they'll check you out, and but yeah, there's really nothing on a mass scale they do. And people that are the scholars already know this, but the politicians, people get mad if they tell them the truth of what's happening. You don't win elections that way, or they ain't going to give you a $10 million. They won't give somebody like Rashawn's $1 million grant for telling the truth. So you got to tell a lie, just because there are lies attached. There's lies attached to the grants. They won't let Rashana solve the problem. Her thing
at
is just
all. At all.
There's no money in the cure, as they
Absolutely.
say.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
On that, Rashawn, could you just tell us a little bit about what's popping, what's coming up, what gives you hope?
Oh man, music. Music. The fact that I can get up every single day in all the madness and still make something beautiful.
And I see that's why you got to go see Sinners, man.
I do. I
Yeah.
just got back to America. You got to think it wasn't playing over there, and then VPN stuff was so. I just got back, Doc. I'm having a hard time being back, but I am going to go see it. I mean, it's bad.
You can download. Yeah, you can watch it, man. Yeah, and you basically preacher girl or preacher boy or whatever. You said the singers. He's the one. Anyway, I ain't gonna give it away. You got to see it for yourself. Then holler at me. So
yeah, seriously, I want to see
but
it.
I ain't lying. When you see that Mount Bayou, how I was like, oh shit, look at yeah.
For sure. My father is originally symbolic and IV. My father was born and raised in Mount Bayou. I went there for the first 11 years of my life. That's why I have this country, been wanting to slow down for this rural thing in my soul forever. But I can't wait to see it.
That's going. Yeah, I ain't gonna say that, but please tell me or hit me up once you've seen it. I want your opinion because
for sure.
It hit me because my family's from Mississippi. And I used to go down there every summer in the 70s. That was kind of how they called it going down home.
Yeah.
And I understand now. It's like my dad is teaching me from the grave now why he did certain things as a kid from in the 70s, which now I'm like, man, damn, thank you, Dad. So,
for real. For real. So symbolic, it's music for me. It's always gonna be music. That's the only way that I can really even attempt to process everything. So I am dropping an EP next month on September 9th called 999. And it's going to be 5 tracks that I've unreleased. I've not released. It's the follow-up to Commodity. And then eventually I'm going to go ahead and release the pinnacle of my musical career, Royalty, on vinyl only. That is hardcore jazz, which is my first and true love, jazz.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I'm, chipping away at, we are officially a toy company now. We have we just pitched to Walmart, didn't want to, but it is what it is. Like I gotta do what I gotta do right now, to get the toys out in response to the funding cuts. So the toy will actually come with unlimited literacy development, instruction and programming in data, media, and AI literacy. Of course, foundational skills for kids. You buy the toy, you get the set, and unlimited courses online. If the baby needs additional remediation, I'm there. So just going in a different direction with Imagineread so that I can focus more on this agriculture and this music. Other than that, my hope is that we recognize more and more the value of community and how important it is for us to really, truly be together. Like Doc said, everybody ain't gonna make it. I just realized that in the last 5 years, I hate to say it. But knowing that it's those of us who are dedicated, who know we can put our head down and survive, we need to stick together, period. That's it. Yeah, that's all I got.
Much appreciated. Hey, we were gonna run this a little bit earlier, but let's take a listen to this quick IG and check this video before we get out of here. Ivy Produce, can you throw that what's the brother's name? Have it.
You talking about the AI video?
Nah, we
You
don't
talking about the
have
music?
time for that. We'll
Music?
have to pick that one up next week.
You talking about the
The
music, right?
Fuse ODG. Fuse ODG. Have y'all heard Fuse ODG as of yet?
I don't know that guy. I don't know that one.
I came with the spirit to on the yatta. I can never be afraid. I came with the energy of Shaka. You go things see ya crave. I came as the child of my father. I give thanks and praise. And I came with the spiritual armor. Baby, the anointing spray. First of all, make a pour before man proceed. There's a silent war up in DRC. If your poverty porn and the through to seek, the new Africa was born to fulfill the dream. Can't forget the powers that's instilled in me. I know, say there's powers that been showed in me. I told them from bad A to BBC that we the Africans who know what the children need. So fall back, we can kick it on our road. Black man stand up, we're sitting on the throne. Ruling everywhere, yeah, we're killing at the globe. And we're building back a home in a different kind of zone. I came with the spirit to on the yatta. I can never be afraid. I came with the energy of Shaka. You go things to your crave. I came as the child of my father. I give thanks and praise. And I came with the spiritual armor. Make the anointing spray.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Rashanis. Thank you so much for jumping on and hope from the vibe. You know we want you to be rocking and it definitely fills out the energy. It builds us up to another level. Same thing, Ronaldo. Thank you for being here, jumping on, sliding in. You are so appreciated. Like the amount of research that you bring is next level. So thank you for that. Shout outs, Ivy Produced, my co-host. Well, Rashanis is gonna be co-host too, but yeah.
I'm looking forward.
Yeah. Hey man, it's gonna, like I was talking with another brother. Yes, yeah, I think you all show is gonna grow and everything else because now I think people are ready for the real straight, no chaser, no pity party type of information here. Cause but yeah, when I came across that entry in the introduction to that book from '78, and he said, "Pete, we're going to just get progressively crazier." That's the part that grabbed me. I'm like, dang, some people have known this since the late '70s. And I've met Hakeem.
If not before,
Yeah, and I know Hakeem
Right.
Booty. I've met him. I saw him a couple years ago on Temple, and he just walks around with this quiet wisdom, like an elder, like I've seen it all before. He's just calm and he knows he's done his work. And that's all we're supposed to do while we're here, just tell the truth. And we got to stop acting like trauma is a normal thing,
For real.
trying to be like it's acceptable, you know, and be at culturally centered instead of trauma centered. And then thinking trauma centered is supposed to set a standard. Trauma ain't never been our standard,
Right.
but all this craziness and everything else, so and I guess I've gotten a certain kind of rank is now that I'm nearing senior citizen status, I can say what I want to say. Because I've just said I've been around the sun a few times and I've seen it all. So when I hear stuff that's bullshit now, I'm like, no, that's bullshit. You cannot expect to live a normal life if you're 30 years old weighing 400 pounds. That's not happening.
Yeah.
Or smoking 3 and 4 packs a day and thinking that's cool, or drinking or whatever. None of that stuff's good for you.
Yeah. We got to tell the
So
truth.
yeah, you gotta just tell the truth.
Yeah.
How many 400-pound people live to be 60 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But that goes
that's
back to values, and that's another conversation. It's like,
that's another thing. You could have a whole show on values and ethics.
for real, which we will.
Yeah.
Symbolic. I need what you think. Like,
absolutely.
I'm up for it.
Yeah.
I'm writing a book right now about it.
Because you could argue that a whole bunch of our people don't have no values and ethics other than secure the bag.
For sure.
Right.
And it's
That's
always been the perception of values for us. Always.
Perception. Everybody got
Seriously.
different perception.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna have that conversation. We got to.
For real.
As soon as I get to Detroit.
I appreciate conversations like these because like we all different. Black people are not a monolith, as we all know. So like, being from the city is different from being from the country or the suburbs. But then like being from different suburbs in different places is different from another. So like my suburb in Chicago is different than the suburbs here in Maryland or the suburb in St. Louis or in Texas or wherever. And so it's just like it's just so different and like common sense. My mom used to say, have some common sense, right? And I'd be like, at a certain point, I was like, well, common sense ain't really common because
it doesn't exist, right?
Really, it doesn't. Like it's only common amongst the people that you share experiences with.
Where it was formed in formation. Yeah, for sure. It's geological. So I feel you with that. And I'm like you. It's we can agree to disagree. We can have all the banter in the world. At the end of it, we need to have actionable solutions,
for
right? Sure. Having discourse is cool, but
and on that, I do want to, give some, just say like, I want to, however, if you have something that's coming up that you want to shout out, through my channel, that's how I use it. I feel that we do need to amplify the things we want to see more of and the positive and people doing great work, because there's so much resource, money, and so forth going into stuff that's destructive. So definitely that. Brother Dr. Ronaldo, like when you talk about history, the hip hop history, I came up in a portion of that hip hop history, and it had the Black Power. So for that to be disincentivized out and washed away, it's like, nah, like to me that's outrageous that it's possible. But I do also believe, if I was to say one of my solutions is, I believe we can come back to the culture. There's no culture without lineage. It has to have a past, it has to have afro future. We have to be, if it doesn't sustain us into the future, then what this is not culture. So this whole business confused with culture thing is insane. But I have hope that just us with clear minds, we can make change, positive change. And I keep going back to what you said, like it does look very, very bad, but I've got a dose of positive, like You know, so
Mhm.
we got to be survivors. Like to me, if the machines go down, going back to what IV produced was mentioning the places we rep our history. Same thing, you know, Rashanis and yourself saying the southern U.S. I don't have much history there, but Jamaica Yard in St. Elizabeth Hills. So we were climbing trees and all that. So, you know, I like my technology, but it's always been a balance because of that. And so
Mhm.
I take
Yeah.
that to hope
You're
that we'll
probably too young to
survive.
remember what happened to Jamaica. The culture of Jamaica got destroyed by NAFTA. Because see, a lot of times Jamaican culture, man, what I liked about Jamaican culture, it's almost like Mississippi culture, except it's with pigeon. You know, where you had the neighborhoods, the kids go out and play football, what we call soccer, and then the neighborhood mama have a pot of beans and other kind of stuff or whatever.
Mhm.
But when NAFTA changed the economics of the Jamaican economy, that broke up the Jamaican community around the neighborhood mamas and all that. Like I guess me and Rashanis are the last one that remember had the neighborhood mamas. You know,
I
while everyone
mean,
was
the
at
candy lady. I mean, there's so
the
much.
candy lady,
No, I
Yeah.
all that
was
kind of
in the
stuff.
hills. I was in the hills. That means when I
Okay.
went back, it was like a time machine. We had an
Yeah.
outhouse. We had a
Yes.
fireplace and what an outhouse, you know, no lanterns, like in the movie. That's how I
Yeah.
was living.
Yeah.
And the
So,
last time I used the outhouse was probably around 78, 79 out in rural Mississippi at one of my relatives' house. And it
Mhm.
wasn't even no toilet paper. I had to use pieces of paper from the Sears catalog to clean myself in the outhouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
They talked
yeah.
about it in Rita Garcia Williams, her series One Crazy Summer. Just, you know, it just to know that if that is where we've come from, how we were able to
Mm.
sustain, like that is the biggest thing. Like I thank the heavens that my father sent me to Mount Bayou those years.
Oh,
Because I
yeah.
wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't even
Yeah.
have the inkling to want to do agriculture and herbalism and
Hmm.
you know, I wouldn't even want
So,
music, none of that.
so that's why, Rashana, I still think your mission is to you're gonna be putting together one of the first maroon settlements, sowing the seeds for the
No,
post-apocalypse.
seriously, that's exactly like Doc. When you said it, I'm like, I've been on this for a while. I told Symbolic. I've talked to my god brother about it. He's an engineer. He worked for NASA. He connected with B. Sharice. Like I've been saying it forever. Like it's time to get off, and not so much as to get off and stay off. We have to utilize what's available to us. But archiving, yeah,
Yeah,
I have
archiving
to
is
as an
you have to
educator.
archive.
Yeah, I have to, baby. I have to leave you the blueprint
Yeah.
because I know there was a 6-year-old version of me that had questions that nobody could answer, right?
mm-hmm,
So there will be another little girl. Okay, well, this couldn't
mm-hmm.
be the way things have always been. She's going to be searching. She's going to be seeking. That's wisdom, and we know that's in us. Then it's inherent, and we're going to continue to produce that. But we have to leave them clues, just like our people did. We have to.
Hmm.
Hey,
So it's going to
you're
be
gonna
me for
have
sure,
to
Doc.
make that the last word.
That's
Thank
what's
you
up.
so much. That is it. Enough
Mad
love,
love.
enough
Mad love.
respects. Glad to be connected across the map. Ivy, you got any last words?
Nah, man, it was a great conversation per usual. You know, all of the episodes usually come like this. I mean, this one was a little bit longer than normal, but it's just because we had such a good conversation, different viewpoints, different
Yeah,
passion, you know.
yeah.
And I love it. And we got to further the conversation. We got to keep having conversation and topics about these types of things, and just continuing to further the mission, and sharing knowledge, and doing the things that we all want to see, right? And so yeah, until next time, we'll be back next
Yeah.
week, same time, and
Oh,
we'll
I
have.
want to shout out to Kwame, please, everybody. That Hulu series, Washington Black.
I
Mhm.
tried to start watching it,
Oh
Doc.
my God, that thing is so good. You know, the
Is it
black.
good?
Oh my God, it's the greatest black speculative series I've seen as a series. Um, Basically, it's centered around Canadian history up from Nova Scotia, but it's black history told through the lenses of steampunk. You know, and the young boy's name is George Washington Black,
Yeah.
who wants to be a scientist.
I tried to
And
start
Okay.
watching it the other day and he just met the white girl and I was like, oh
oh,
no,
but
come
she's
on.
not white. She's mixed.
Okay, so maybe I need to watch it some more.
Yeah, watch closely, man. You know, that's what
Okay.
I'm saying. I mean, through the story, he runs into pirates. They meet Nat Turner, all this stuff on their way to Nova Scotia,
Oh wow. Okay, because I saw
and then
somebody
they
I'll
posted in
check
the
and then
it.
they
group.
and they make their way to Africa. So I'm just saying, it's
It's good.
greatest Black speculative series I've seen. It really that centers itself around Black Canadian, the Black Canadian speculative experience. So,
Wow.
oh yeah,
Thank
Okay.
you for
so
that.
I'm gonna keep watching
On
it.
the
yeah,
I am.
list. What
Yeah, for
happened to my
sure.
camera? Oh, my camera died. Can y'all hear me still?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear
yeah, I
you.
can hear you.
Okay, great. That
But
is
this
going
was
on my
great.
list right now. I was taking notes as the conversation was going. Um, all right, y'all. Have a beautiful evening.
Okay,
Enough
The
respects,
show.
enough love.
Mad love. Y'all be safe out here.
Y'all
Yep.
be
Yep.
all
safe.
right,
Yes. Peace.
all right.
Peace.
Peace.